Hello, everybody. You're listening to Let's Master English, and my name is Coach Shane. Welcome to podcast number 3 of Let's Master English. Thank you so much for listening to my podcast and downloading it, and telling your friends. I really appreciate it. You can get the transcript to podcast 1 and podcast 2 if you visit our Google Plus community, which is Let's Master English. We have a team of people who dictate the podcasts, and you can join that team. Join the community, Let's Master English, on Google Plus and leave a message. You'll be invited. We are also on iTunes. Yay! We're finally on iTunes, and I do want to say thank you very much to the person. I only have one rating. Actually, there are 2 ratings, but I made the 1 rating. This is from YSA47. I always enjoy studying English with your class. Finally, I got your podcast, so I really thank you, Mr. Shane. Don't call me Mr. Shane. That makes me sound old. You can call me Coach Shane. Thank you very much for the rating. And also, you can find our podcast on our website, which is www.letsmasterenglish.com. And I have 2 messages there, one from Jyoti and one from Ingrid. Jyoti says, "Hi Shane, these podcasts are really, really very good. We are finding lots of information through these podcasts about American culture. We're getting a chance to know current affairs, which is very interesting as well. I'm sure these podcasts will help people build their communication skills. Definitely a great initiative." Big thumbs up, Shane. Thank you. And Ingrid said, "Great podcast." And she added some comments to the story for podcast number 1 about being fit. And her final comment, "It is important to be fit when you want to immigrate to another country." And I agree, her story is pretty funny. So thank you very much, Ingrid and Jyoti and YSA for leaving comments in these public places. We also have lots of comments on our YouTube channels and on Google+, but these are the ones I'm going to read, so thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Now, I also want to talk about some statistics, and this is actually very interesting to me. Who is listening to my podcast? Well, as of 6:40 p.m. on August 26th, that's Monday, 633 people have downloaded our podcast, and the most popular country, Russia! Russia by far, followed by the United States, then Korea, then Brazil, and then trailing off, we have Japan, Thailand, Vietnam, Italy, and Kazakhstan. And in number 10, I think it's number 10, is Mexico. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening to my podcast. Keep spreading the word. The surprise country for me was Haiti. Haiti. 7 people have listened to my podcast in Haiti. That's really great. I really appreciate it. We are all over the world, and if I look at the map, we're doing really good in North America and South America. In Africa, we're just in the northern countries. We have Morocco, Algeria, Egypt. We're doing good in the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, Oman, the UAE, Iran. And then Europe, just the northern countries, but Spain, France, Italy. Italy's doing really good. And then a little bit in Belgium, 1 person in the Netherlands, 2 people in the UK, Germany, Poland, Belarus, Latvia, 1 person in Latvia, the Ukraine, once again lots in Russia, Kazakhstan doing great, 4 people in China, And Southeast Asia, we've got some Malaysia and Vietnam and Cambodia, and of course Thailand again. So once again, thank you so much for listening to my podcast, and please tell your friends. Let's make this bigger and better. Okay, we've got, as usual, a couple sections, the news, and then we've got some questions. We've got a fact from Country Shane and English studying tips. So, are you ready for the news? Let's get into it. If you're in the U.S., get out your long johns and stock up on apple cider. You're in for a long, cold winter. Biting cold, that is. The 2013 Farmer's Almanac has just come out with its chilling prediction. Published since 1818, it boasts an 80% accuracy rate with regards to what Mother Nature plans to do, and that makes it a must when it comes to planning gardens and planning weddings. It's also chock full of home remedies and corny jokes. Get yours today. What? What am I talking about? Let me read it one more time, a little bit slower, a little bit clearer. If you're in the U.S., get out your long johns and stock up on apple cider. You're in for a long, cold winter. Biting cold, that is. The 2013 Farmer's Almanac has just come out with its chilling prediction. Published since 1818, it boasts an 80% accuracy rate with regards to what Mother Nature plans to do. And that makes it a must when it comes to planting gardens and planning weddings. It's also chock full of home remedies and corny jokes. Get yours today. So, what is this story about? Well, it's about the publication of a yearly journal, which is like a magazine. Magazines are usually weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly, but this magazine is yearly. It's an annual publication, and it's called the Farmer's Almanac. Farmer, as in the guy or the woman who plants corn and potatoes and beans. Almanac, A-L-M-A-N-A-C. An almanac. An almanac is a yearly calendar that tells you important dates and gives you special information on what you can do. For example, good fishing times, good planting times. It tells you about astronomical things like a lunar eclipse and the full moon. It also tells you about the tide, how the ocean goes up and down because of the moon's gravitational pull. It's, once again, a calendar or a yearbook, and it comes out once a year. Do you have a popular almanac in your country? In America, the Farmer's Almanac is very popular. So let's look at the first sentence. If you're in the U.S., if you live in the U.S., if you're an American, or if you're a student living in the U.S. or a worker in the U.S., get out your long johns and stock up on apple cider. What are long johns? Long johns are long underwear. If you live in a cold area, you need to have long underwear. Not the short underwear, long underwear, thick underwear, warm underwear. And we call those long johns. LONGJOHNS. Long johns. Long johns actually got their name in the UK. Supposedly, they were named after a boxer named John L. Sullivan. So, I don't know, maybe he was the underwear model back in the 1800s. Anyway, get out your long johns. The nuance is you will need your long johns and stock up on apple cider. Now, in America, when we say apple cider, it basically means apple juice, but sometimes it has alcohol. The apples are allowed to ferment, which means they develop alcohol after a while. Apple cider is usually drunk in the fall and the winter in America, and it's almost always drunk warm. So, get out your long johns and stock up on apple cider. To stock up means to have a big supply. So, the nuance is it's going to be cold. You're in for a long, cold winter. To be in for something is a good expression. You're in for. To be in for means you can expect something. You're in for an exciting movie. That means you can expect an exciting movie. You're in for a good podcast. That means you can expect a good podcast. Here, you're in for a long, cold winter. You can expect a long, cold winter, so you will need your long johns and warm apple cider. The next sentence, biting cold, that is. That is means to emphasize biting cold. My name is Coach Shane. Coach, that is. Emphasizing that I'm a coach. Here, biting cold, that is. Emphasizing biting cold. What is biting cold? It's so cold out that it feels like the cold weather is biting your skin. It's biting to your bones. You can feel the cold all the way to your bones. Do you like biting cold weather? I do, actually. As long as I have long johns and a fireplace, biting cold weather is good for me. The next sentence. The 2013 Farmer's Almanac has just come out with its chilling prediction. So, 2013, the 2013 edition of the Farmer's Almanac has just come out, has just been published. Recently, it has been published with its chilling prediction. Now, usually when we say chilling, it can mean very scary, but it can also mean very cold. And this is a cold weather prediction. Published since 1818. That's right, this almanac was first published in the year 1818, so it's almost 200 years old, 195 years old. Published since 1818, it boasts an 80% accuracy rate with regards to what Mother Nature plans to do. So, Mother Nature is the personification of nature. So, when we talk about nature, we call it Mother Nature. Mother Nature, what does she plan to do? Well, it's hard to predict what she wants to do, but the Farmer's Almanac has an 80% accuracy rate in predicting what Mother Nature will do. So, in other words, this almanac is 80% correct when it comes to weather prediction. 80%? That's amazing. The key word was boasts. B-O-A-S-T-S. To boast means to brag about, to be very proud about something. So if you're 80% accurate in predicting something, that's really good. You can boast about that. When I was younger, I studied in the MBA program. That's the business degree for a master's in business. So I thought I was very intelligent because I could boast an MBA. Therefore, I bought stocks on the stock market because I was intelligent. Unfortunately, my stocks did terrible. My accuracy was horrible. I bought 5 different stocks and only one stock increased in value. So my accuracy rate was 20%. Can I boast about that? No. I should hide myself in embarrassment about that. But once again, the Farmer's Almanac is really accurate, 80%. Wow. The next sentence. And that makes it a must when it comes to planting gardens and planning weddings. That makes the Farmer's Almanac a must, a necessity, something you absolutely need. When? When it comes to planting gardens. So if you want to have a vegetable garden, you should always check the Farmer's Almanac to find the best time to plant the seeds. And the Farmer's Almanac is a must when it comes to planning weddings. Lots of people like to have outside weddings, outdoor weddings. But if you plan your wedding and it rains, oh, that's terrible. So you should check the Farmer's Almanac first to see if the weather prediction will be nice. It's also chock full of home remedies and corny jokes. The Farmer's Almanac is also chock full of something, completely full of something. Of what? Home remedies. What are home remedies? Home remedies are things you can do at home to treat illnesses. For example, if you have a cold, don't buy cold medicine. Eat chicken soup. Chicken soup is really good for a home remedy. If you have an infection, don't buy drugs at the drugstore. Just use a potato. The potato will actually remove the inflammation and help you get rid of the infection. Isn't that great? Those are home remedies. It's also chock full of home remedies and corny jokes. Corny jokes are silly jokes. And if you visit my E-Cubed YouTube channel, you can find many examples of great corny jokes that I provided and also our subscribers provided. And the last sentence, get yours today. That means buy your Farmer's Almanac today. So, that was the news story. I hope you understand. We had some really good vocabulary. So let's listen to the vocabulary and you can repeat. Long johns, long johns. To stock up on something, to buy a lot of something. Apple cider, usually we drink it warm in the fall and the winter. Sometimes it has alcohol, but not always. Apple cider is delicious. To be in for something means you can expect something. Biting cold, super, super cold. Biting cold, that is, emphasizing biting cold. Something has just come out. In this case, it refers to a magazine, a publication, maybe a TV show, maybe a podcast. Something has been recently published. Chilling prediction. This can have two meanings, a scary prediction or a very cold prediction. Boasts. To boast means to brag about something, to be proud about something. Mother Nature. She's the symbol for nature, for the weather. Sometimes Mother Nature is very cruel with a hurricane or a typhoon, but sometimes Mother Nature is truly beautiful. That makes it a must. That makes the Farmer's Almanac absolutely necessary. When it comes to da-da-da-da-da, when it regards da-da-da-da-da, when it relates to da-da-da-da-da, planting gardens, to plant seeds for vegetables. Now remember, if we say planting really fast, it sounds like planning. And that's the next one, planning weddings. To plan a wedding, especially an outdoors wedding. Chock full of, CHOCKFULL, completely full of something. Home remedies. Remedies to cure illnesses and other problems at home without going to the doctor or using modern technology. Corny jokes. Silly jokes. They're funny, but sometimes they're stupid. So, those are the vocabulary. Let's listen to the story 2 more times. The first time, I'll say it slowly, and the second time, I'll say it normal speed. If you're in the U.S., get out your long johns and stock up on apple cider. You're in for a long, cold winter. Biting cold, that is. The 2013 Farmer's Almanac has just come out with its chilling prediction. Published since 1818, it boasts an 80% accuracy rate with regards to what Mother Nature plans to do. And that makes it a must when it comes to planting gardens and planning weddings. It's also chock full of home remedies and corny jokes. Get yours today. If you're in the U.S., get out your long johns and stock up on apple cider. You're in for a long, cold winter. Biting cold, that is. The 2013 Farmer's Almanac has just come out with its chilling prediction. Published since 1818, it boasts an 80% accuracy rate with regards to what Mother Nature plans to do. And that makes it a must when it comes to planning gardens and planning weddings. It's also chock full of home remedies and corny jokes. Get yours today. It's Q&A time, questions and answers. Today I have a bunch of questions, so let's begin. Cheese from the Future asks, how can I say the word world properly? Yes, world, W-O-R-L-D. That's a tough word for lots of people. My recommendation is say it in 2, maybe even 3 syllables. So listen carefully. World. 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 So the first syllable would be W-E-R-E. Were. The next syllable would be R-schwa-L. Roll. And it's not the third syllable, but then you need the D, the final D sound. So you can make a stop D sound, which sounds like this. World, world, world. I just stop it. The perfect pronunciation, world, world. With a stop D, world, world. This is very difficult, cheese from the future. So check on my Coach Shane's ESL channel. And I do have a video that compares war, W-A-R, and world. So you can check that video out, and that might help you. Thanks for your question, and I hope I answered a little bit. Our next question is from Laith Mecca. Laith Mecca asks, when do we pronounce the S like a Z, and when do we pronounce the S like an S? So he's talking about at the ends of a word. For example, E-N-D-S. Is the S a Z sound or an S sound? What about K-I-C-K-S? Is it an S sound or a Z sound? Well, the rule is actually not that confusing. If the final consonant has vibration, like b, 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 or or ng, then it's a Z sound. So, P-U-B-S, pubs, pubs, pubs. It's a Z sound. Rooms, R-O-O-M-S, rooms. It's a Z sound. There's vibration. S-I-N-G-S, sings, sings. It's a Z sound. So if the final consonant has vibration, then the final S for plural or the verb would have a Z sound. But if the final consonant is an aspirated sound, it sounds like an S. For example, kicks, kicks, hits, hits, cents, C-E-N-T-S, cents, skips, skips, S-K-I-P-S. So, p, t, k. Those are aspirated sounds. That means the final S sounds like an S. B are vibrated sounds, so the final sound has a Z sound. Okay? We have another question from Zainab Barcelona. Hey, Coach Shane, how do we pronounce I got you? It sounds like there's a CH sound. Yes, Zainab, that's right. I got you. If we have a T next to a Y, we can make it into a CH sound. So, perfect pronunciation, I got you. A little bit faster, I got you. I got you. That's a stop T sound. But many Americans combine the T and the Y to make a CH. I got you. I got you. Another example, don't you like me? Don't you like me? Don't you like me? I'm going to hit you. I'm going to hit you. Hit you. T plus Y equals CH. And D plus Y equals J. Did you study? Did you study? Did you study? Would you pick me up? Would you pick me up? Would you pick me up? So those are good rules to remember. Okay, Zainab? Gene525 Boy has a question. What does one shot my coffee mean? Ah, yes, I had a video on Coach Shane's ESL called Get Out of Here. And in that video, I said, do you want me to one shot my coffee? So in this case, I used one shot as a verb. And what that means, drink my coffee in one go. Take my coffee and go swallow all of my coffee in one go, in one shot, in one drink, in one gulp. Ah, yes. Now, drinking whiskey in one shot is common. Drinking coffee in one shot is crazy. And I have one more question, and I don't know how to pronounce the name. Quoc Bao Bui. I'm guessing this young person is from Vietnam. Could be an old person, probably young. Thank you so much. Please make a video teaching us how to pronounce the word asked. A-S-K-E-D. Do we really need the K sound? Or can we just keep the T sound? Well, maybe I will make a video, but let me answer your question anyway. A-S-K-E-D, perfect pronunciation, asked. Asked. But if we say it fast, we drop the K and we say asked. I asked you a question. T plus Y equals CH. I asked you a question. I asked you a question. I asked Tim a question. I asked David a question. I asked Christy. Now, some Americans have a different pronunciation, and it actually sounds like A-X-E-D. I asked you a question. I asked you a question. I asked you a question. Believe it or not, some people ask questions. So my recommendation, perfect pronunciation, of course, asked. But you can mimic most Americans. They just say asked. Who asked you? I asked you. Thanks for those questions, and keep asking. How you doing, everybody? This is Country Shane, and I'm here to bring you the facts. Winston Churchill, Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, liked to have whiskey and a cigar for lunch and dinner and breakfast. This has been Country Shane bringing you the facts. Okay, everybody, it's time for Let's Master English's studying tips. So last podcast, I asked you to choose your English goal. Did you choose an English goal? Was it to make friends, to travel, to learn about technology, to watch movies, listen to songs, for business, to study? I hope you picked your goal. So today I'm going to start some specific advice. And today we're going to focus on making friends. If your goal is to make English-speaking friends, how can you start? You can start right now. First of all, don't be picky. Accept anyone as an English friend, not just Americans or British people or Australians. There are many native English-speaking countries, and so many people around the world speak great English. So if your first English-speaking friend is not an American, that's fine. No problem. Don't worry about it. As you make more and more friends, maybe one day you'll meet an American or a British person or an Australian or whatever you want. So how do you meet these English speakers? Of course, there are many English pen pal and English pal sites, but my recommendation, go by your interests or your hobbies. So for example, if you're interested in soccer, then find other people around the world who are interested in soccer. If your hobby is hiking, then find other people around the world whose hobbies are hiking and start talking to them about your interest or about your hobby. People like to talk about things they love. Some people want to just make friends, but that's a weak friendship. If you can build a friendship on an interest or a hobby, your success will be much stronger. So, where can you find these people who share your interest or share your hobby? The best thing to do is to look for blogs, blogs, internet blogs. And remember, the smaller the blog, the better. If it's a small blog and you leave a message, there's a very good chance that people, the author, will respond. And then maybe over time, you can become friends. Another great place is YouTube. The less popular the video, the better. If you leave a comment on somebody's video about hiking, that person, and it's not, very popular, that person will probably answer you back. And you might be able to build a friendship. Once you're able to build a friendship with a couple of people, another great place to start practicing your speaking is Google+. Google+ allows you to have hangouts. So you can actually see the person and hear the person. You can speak to the person. Now, some people don't want to use the camera. That's fine. In Google+ Hangouts, you can turn off your camera. It can just be a voice conversation. Of course, Skype is a great tool too. But I like to tell people to be careful with personal information. Your address, too much personal information is sometimes not a good thing. And you can keep it private. If people keep asking you, give me your phone number, give me your phone number, give me your address, give me your address, maybe it's best not to have that relationship with that person. Of course, it all depends on the situation, but be careful with personal information, especially kids. Kids, be careful. More advice: don't be an English freak. Don't put pressure on your friend to correct your English. Please, if I make an English mistake, please correct me. Tell me every time I make an English mistake. Okay? Some people don't mind, but most people, they don't care about your English mistakes. They're more interested in building the relationship. And the longer you have an English-speaking relationship, the better your English will be. And finally, don't be a troll and don't get trolled. What does that mean? Basically, that means don't be mean. So if you leave a mean message to somebody else might be able to see that message, and they might think you're not a very nice person. So be careful with your Twitter and your Facebook and places that you leave messages. Don't be a troll. Don't be a monster. Don't be a mean person. And if somebody says something mean to you, just ignore them. Don't be a troll and don't get trolled. So this is my advice to people whose English goal is to make friends. Give it a try and tell me how it works. Well, that's going to do it for me today, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this edition of Let's Master English. Please subscribe on the iTunes store and give me a good rating. I'll read what you said. You can also get our podcast on our homepage, www.letsmasterenglish.com. Tell everybody, please share the podcast. Let's make this a great way to practice your English, practice your listening, and to master your English. That's the whole goal. And also give me some good constructive criticism. I want to make the podcast better. Did I speak too fast? Did I speak too slow? Was the podcast too long? Was the podcast too short? Tell me those things, and I'll do my best to fix it. Okay, take care, everyone, and let's master English.